This is AFL.com.au. Hello everyone, Matt Thompson with you, and a special report for you today on the results of the 2012 Coaches Association survey. With us to discuss the details, Danny Frawley, the head of the Coaches Association, and also senior AFL.com.au writer Ashley Brown. Welcome, gentlemen. Some fascinating data, Danny. Is this the first time you've actually done a full survey of this nature? Yeah,
it is, with the help of Ashley Brown here, and obviously it's one of our relationship with the AFL and the relationship with the AFL-CIO, and the coaches have been very forthright in their answers, which is great and healthy.
Ash, some really honest answers, I guess. All of the coaches, though, were anonymous, obviously, in participating in the survey.
The key was that we said to the coaches that the names won't be put to it, but Danny and the guys at the association got them to answer forthrightly. It's really good, some good stuff there.
And I think about the survey, they've got their coaches' hat on, but they've also got a slant to the welfare of the game and the players, importantly. So a bit of a balancing act there when answering those.
All right, let's go through some of the talking points, beginning with the idea of a mid-season draft. And the coaches very much divided on this, Danny.
Yeah, well, look, if you ask the coaches individually about the mid-season draft, you would find that half of them are very passionate about it, really passionate about the fact of, you know, Damien Hardwick's put it out there. But as a whole, it's been divided. But there's been a lot of clubs, footy managers as well, that would dearly love a mid-season draft, especially if you've got 5 ruckmen on your list and you've probably got a dearth of on-ballers, and one club might have 13 on-ballers, especially that June, July area when you...
You think St Kilda would love a ruckman though, wouldn't you? Chance of going to get a ruckman.
And probably a key defender at the moment as well. So, you know, unfortunately Zach Dawson was pushed out because of salary cap reasons. So those type of issues were great in the past, and the AFL are aware of it as well. So not sure whether we'll get it or not, but a lot of coaches are very passionate about it.
Yeah, I thought it might have had unanimous support, that one. I was a little bit surprised.
Yeah, well, as I said, we can only talk of the survey as a whole.
Yeah.
And as I said, split right down the middle on this one. But the guys that are very passionate about it are very forthright. So hopefully that it may get to a conclusion at some stage.
Ash, unanimous support, though, for a reserves team for every club.
That's not a surprise, Matty. I think there's where you hear reports that there's fragmented relationships between some of the feeder clubs and the AFL clubs, and I think it makes obvious that in the perfect world, the coaches can fully control the development of all the players on their list and not have to farm them out to other clubs for the actual game time and weekends. And I think that's also not just in Victoria, but with the Sandful and the Waffle as well.
Right. A feeling as well among the coaches, the majority of the coaches, that the season is too long. 10 coaches suggesting that it would actually be ideal to have a 17 or 18 game season, which is fascinating, I reckon.
I think you need to read between the lines with that one a little bit as well, Matty, because the 18 teams in the competition and probably the unfair draw at times, and it is a little bit of a raffle, and everyone knows that. The AFL know that, commercial operations. But
it would never happen, though, would it?
No, it won't happen because of the media rights.
Yeah, we need, but as I said, the AFL needs the cash from the media rights.
And exactly right. As I said, this is where we need to take a deep breath with the survey, but saying the coaches, in an ideal wish list, that's what they want. They want an even draw, they want an even competition, and they love the ability to play everyone once, but I'm sure if you ask them again, they'd want to play everyone once at their home ground.
All right, let's keep moving a little bit quicker if we can. No concerns about the length of matches, which is also interesting, although coaches were saying that they'd like to see quarters not go longer than 28 minutes, ideally.
Yeah, I think it's even itself out, even over the last month. I think the umpires have really reacted to a lot of stoppages and get it flowing a little bit more, throwing the ball in a little bit quicker. So the umpiring department, I think, have done a pretty good job there. Video
review technology has been a talking point all season long. Some of the coaches are happy with it, some are not. Again, quite divided.
I think most coaches are happy with the review system, but would love more technology. But that becomes, again, more dollars for the broadcasters and the AFL.
Ash, no surprise that the coaches are not at all interested in State of Origin or All-Star matches.
No, that's no surprise at all. Again, go back to the state leagues, they want control of their players all the time, so they're not going to agree to that for any time soon, I wouldn't think.
All right, zeroing in on this season as we near the end of our discussion. The Magpies, the team to beat for the flag, that really zeroes in, I think, on what the football community thinks about where this season is headed in what has been an unprecedented season in terms of where it's going.
Yeah, it's interesting. I think if you had have asked the coaches after about round 3 or 4, the Magpies probably wouldn't have been on top. But I think the advent of all the youngsters coming in, another Irishman, you know, Caelan Mooney on the weekend, and Young and Williams, these younger players, Sinclair, really added a lot of depth to Collingwood. Hawthorn was the second best team, so it's no coincidence there, followed closely by West Coast.
All right, and Buddy Franklin, the player that coaches would most like to trade for, not Gary Ablett.
Surprise, surprise. I think, you know, they'd all love Gary Ablett as well, but Lance Franklin's just one of those one-in-a-generation type players.
He is at the top of the list. Are you sitting out of that discussion because you're a Hawthorn fan, are you?
Well, I think he sells tickets as well, so I think he'll tick every box at a football club, I think, right now, Lance Franklin.
And we can talk from our perspective as well here at afl.com.au. Every time we put Buddy Franklin on the front page of the website, the hits just go through the roof. He's an absolute phenomenon. Thank you to you both, Ashley Brown and Danny Frawley. I'm Matt Thompson. You're watching afl.com.au. Click back soon for more footy news as it happens.